Good afternoon there, YouTubers. It's old Johnny again. And, another project got going on. I made mention in the last video about the Mustang that I have a Durango that y'all are following. I'm going to be working on. This is pretty much how the Durango was when we got it. Well, minus the rims and tires. Them are actually off my Dakota. The tires were on it on the front were cupped really bad to the point of almost being oblong. So it caused the truck to jump around quite a bit while you're at highway speeds. So I took rims tires off the Dakota and threw on here. Yeah, not that bad. And I paid, I think, $1,250 for the truck. Got some spots. Clear coat's coming off. Not a bad truck at all, really. But since we're living out here in the mountains and it snows and it gets pretty steep on the way to my house, I have to have a 4x4. The old two-wheel drive pickup trucks weren't working anymore. But the only damage to the truck when we got it was right here in the front. Well, don't know if y'all are versed in Dakotas and Durangos, but them bumpers are extremely hard to find used in good condition. And almost all of them you see are going to be rusted out like that, especially up here in the mountains. If you're dealing with snow and salt, that's what happens. And with the amount of scratches and stuff that was down the paint when we first got the truck, I'm assuming that somebody used to drive this thing off-road quite a bit and tapped something pretty hard on the right front. So I got to replace the headlights and the fender. Bumper's been in, but that don't matter. I got to replace that anyways because of the rust. And then under piece and stuff, it's pretty much all plastic. I could fix that, but I'm thinking about going with a Baja style bumper on the front anyways. A little tubular. Cowl induction hood. Got a 5.9 Magnum in the works that is getting completely rebuilt, redone. All racing internals. Eagle crank, Ferrera rods, Ferrera valves, beehive springs, cammed out, port and polished head, Durango valve job. Let me see, diamond pistons, ceramic coated, board stroked. And I'm looking for a decent transmission that goes on you put on a 4x4 that you can put about 600 horse to it without really screwing it up too bad. Eventually the truck's going to have a solid rack on the top with probably about a 50-inch bar, light bar on that. And then I'm probably going to put a couple little light bars down on the bumper in the front when I put the Baja style on it. But the truck is going to have altogether between 6 and 8 inches of lift. Haven't really made up my mind on that yet. And it's getting converted to a live axle. Dana 60 rear. Haven't really made up my mind on exactly what axle I'm going to put in the front. Might try and get rid of the leaf springs and go with a coilover. It's in pretty good shape. Everything works on the inside. Passenger window is a little slow going up and down. The inside of the truck's kind of trash, but then again, as a family driver, we were always toting the kids places, and having a 6, 7, 12, and 15-year-old, things get messy real quick. But like I said, the inside's in good shape. not the Plus model. I wish it was, but it's only the SLT. Got 4.7 in it. Haven't really had a chance to degrease everything on here and pressure wash it yet. But got to make sure I got another vehicle to drive for a day or two in case something gets wet and it doesn't want to fire, and got to have a little bit of time to dry out. But the only thing mechanically wrong with this truck when I got it was the power steering pump. Now, I don't know what the heck Dodge was thinking when they actually made these trucks, come up with this engine combination and stuff, but that is a tiny little power steering pump for a truck this size. So for about the first 2 weeks that I actually had the truck, or that me and my wife had it, we were driving around with no power steering, so I was pretty much driving everywhere. Power steering pump costs, I think it costs us about $100, you know, but we got a good chunk of that back with the core. The only thing the new pumps don't come with is, well, they do, but you got to pay extra for it, is the reservoir. But it isn't hard to, take the old reservoir off and put it on the new pump. The fittings on these things, unless you have specific tools, like line wrenches and things like that, the fittings on that pump are a pain in the butt to get to. But since I've had it, runs really good, so I haven't really, put the money out there for new plugs and stuff like that yet. But put a K&N filter in it, change it over to, semi-synthetic oil with a synthetic oil filter. Next time I do an oil change, I'm gonna go full synthetic with it. There's no knocks, no pings, doesn't smoke. Even though the truck has, I don't know, there's a good bit of miles on it. Let me see here. Hmm. 190,000 miles. And the only thing I've done to the inside of the truck is put one of my head units that I had laying around in here. Factory radio, and this thing sucks. I mean, it's got an amplifier, and probably sounded good when it was new, but now that it's got some years on it, it doesn't sound too good. I still get all the highs, but it don't get no bass out of the speakers. So, fix that problem. Do some subs in the back. Yeah, I'm an old country boy, so I listen to country and, rock and some metal, and I pretty much listen to everything. But you gotta have a good beat, and I like bass. But I have been hearing that Durangos have a lot of transmission issues. I mean, everybody I've talked to that had one, they've either had a miss on the engine or a transmission issue that caused them a lot of issues, or caused them a lot of problems during the time that they owned the Durango. I will tell you this, where I live at, I've got river crossings, a whole bunch of off-road trails, things like that. The four-wheel drive in this thing works phenomenal. I've had this truck all up the mountains, across the rivers, through the rivers, playing around down in the water, sideways out here around on these gravel roads around the turns and stuff. And when I say I live out in the mountains, look up there, there are some really steep spots out here, and I've had this Durango all up and down them. I wish my Dakota was a 4x4, but it'll be getting converted. Put a live axle underneath it too. So, if y'all want to see a Durango build up and in depth of problems I'm having, have had, solutions, things like that, like and subscribe. Or, if there's any people out there that have little forums or groups for, Durangos, Dakotas, stuff like that, I'll share the video. I always like to get some feedback, especially suggestions and stuff. This is the first Durango I've ever had. I've had my Dakota for a little while now, but it's got a 4-cylinder 5-speed in it. So, hell, my wife used to have a Chevy Aveo in my Dakota, extended cab Dakota, got better gas mileage than her Chevy Aveo. Just gotta know how to drive a stick. So, but if y'all want to follow this, then feel free, like, subscribe. Just be getting live axle conversion, lifted rims, tires, paint job, maybe some vinyl wrap around the bottom. I don't know if my wife wants to keep it, because it's primarily her truck. I don't know if she wants to keep it the burnt red that it is now, because she likes adding camo to her vehicles. Or she's going to go black like all of the rest of our vehicles and put a camo wrap around the bottom on it. And so, an update on the Ford. Remember, F-150 used to be sitting over there. Well, finance company was giving us hell about the truck, and we still did owe money on it. And with the amount of work that was needing to be put into it, cam phasers, the full front suspension rebuild, all that stuff. I mean, it just wasn't worth the money to put in the truck just to continue on payments. So we let it go back. And to be perfectly honest, even though I love that body style, good riddance. We had more problems with that truck than any other vehicle we've ever had. And that's including high performance race cars and stuff. I've done more work on that F-150 than any other vehicle I've ever owned. Ride's good. It's once you get up about 180,000 miles on them things, they start becoming a maintenance nightmare. And the transmissions in them suck. That transmission issues from the day we bought that thing. So, till next time, stay safe, have fun, peace.